6 strangers must return to the wilderness, surviving for 25 days with no modern technology, learning the old ways from the elders, to reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Times change, people grow, but the land remains. Like their ancestors, 6 strangers begin a 25-day journey to culturally reconnect and discover their identity. Surviving along old fur trade routes in northern Ontario, with no modern technology, they will learn the old ways from elders in the OG Cree territory of Achikimau, battling hardships and hunger to discover the importance of knowing where they come from and who they are.
My name is Michaela Carrier. I'm from Cumberland House, Saskatchewan. I'm a Cree Métis. I grew up in the middle of nowhere on a trap line.
Biju Opishikau Gijig, Indigenous, Migazi Indodem. So my spirit name means dawn of new day. For me, connecting with the land has been huge. Connecting to this country, this place.
Hello, my name is Gabriella Cheryl Chichi from Beaver House First Nation in Ontario. Some things I enjoy to do are horseback riding, traveling, spending time with my chief, and learning more about my cultural history.
My name is Brendan Joseph Edward Shane Riley. I'm originally from Windsor, Ontario, and my tribe is Chippewas of the Thames.
I'm Cale McGiskin, and I'm from Thunder Bay, Ontario. I grew up here, born and raised. And I like the forest, and I like being out in the woods and exploring and adventuring, so I think it'll be a pretty cool experience, and it's just more or less just something fun to do, something different.
My name's Ebony Louie. I'm Micmac, but I'm from the Maliseet community of Tobic First Nation in New Brunswick. I was really excited about this project because I feel like it would be great to learn firsthand how our ancestors utilized their environment in a day-to-day basis and how this would have affected their outlook and their worldview.
Well, it's going to be a challenge to be out in the land for 25 days. I know there's going to be a lot of psychological, challenges.
I've never been hunting. In my native side of the family, we were really disconnected from the spirituality because both my grandparents were in residential school. So,
growing up in the city, we just became so disconnected with our home reserve and never really got to know anything.
I'm really excited to learn new skills and new ways of living, because I'll be able to implement them into my own life.
Knowing who I am, right? I'm judged all the time for not appearing to be an Indigenous person or not coming from a reserve, those types of things. So I'm always judged on that, and I've needed to sort of carve out my own path in terms of how I feel connected to my Indigenous side, and for me it's being out on the land.
Growing up, having that connection has definitely made the fundamentals for me to be able to stay very connected with my culture and understand the importance of knowing who you are and where you come from.
Taking their first steps into the wild, with only a personal possession linking them to their old lives, the adventurers are hit with the reality of the challenge and responsibility of the journey ahead. Welcoming them are elders Stanley Stevens and Terry Child Forever.
No? Don't understand? It's good. You have to learn it. Yeah. What I'm saying is, this is the last generations of my language back home. My kids, they speak English, but they understand, but they can't talk. This is the last generation, and him too. Nobody talks back home, my language. I'm OG Cree. My dad's a Ojibwe, my mom is a Cree. So the same thing what Stan says. We understand each other. In some places, they don't understand us, our language, because it's all combined in a dialect. My dad was in a residential school. He wasn't allowed to talk in his language. Then when he came back, he didn't let me talk in English. And that's how it was, and that's how I learned it.
He said some really good things about the lost language of Ojibwe, and I related to that because in our territory, in Cumberland House, and the Cree language there is being lost too for the young people. So we've been trying to bring it back and teach people Cree because it's really important.
The skills I'm going to be learning from the elders and the people that are going to be with you, these are the skills you're going to be using when you go out on the land yourself. So hopefully, whatever you learn during this time, that you'll hold on to these skills and pass it on to the next generation. Keep all these skills going. We don't want to lose all these skills and pass it on to the next generation, So that way we'll survive on the land as long as the land is here. So we have to look after ourselves and look after the land, and we'll be a strong people again someday. And in order to be a strong person, you have to go out on the land and practice the old ways, and then that way you will be able to survive when the time comes when you go on the land by yourself. Whatever it's again it's mando. In an akumago na no tagizigak, minegi melomadzisiak. Mininan maskawiziwen, nestaga stentagus win. Mlogono manan, nesta shawene manan. Anot nesta kagige, hinabugu agige gon anutitayan. Emelomadzisiak, anot tagizigak, anot nesta kagige. Mingwes kitchamandu, mingwes kitchamandu.
It's the opportunity to step back in time. How often do you get that?
Maybe in terms of like working with other people for that long, I feel like that would be probably where I would learn something, is because I'm not really a team player, and so I've never thrown myself into a situation where I had to be a team player.
Father, he was not that great a parent, but that's not his fault because of the intergenerational grief. He never learned because my grandmother never learned, so it's all like that, which is why I have to learn.
Absolutely, I live in the city. Absolutely, I didn't get to grow up, so much on my reserve, but I still am Native, and nobody can take that from me.
Lots of emotional challenges on long canoe trips, and every day there's someone having a meltdown. And how do you go about solving those challenges? I guess it's just the unknowns that are scary, because there's so many different things that are going to happen, and how are we going to adapt to that situation as a group? So that's a bit of a concern.
When I found out that we weren't going to have like all the conventional tools that you would usually have, it kind of sparked my interest a bit more. The thing that excites me most about this journey is like just being out in the wilderness and learning new things, stuff that I've never really been acquainted with.
Everybody asks me what my fear is, and it's what these whiskers are gonna look like. I groom every day, It's hard work in the morning.
The struggle and importance of the journey sets in, overwhelming some with what lies ahead. For the next 25 days, the group of strangers must unite to survive. With teachings from elders in the Ojibwe language, they will learn hunting, shelter, and other skills essential to their journey. For countless generations, the ability to harvest, travel, and trade was made possible by birch bark canoes.
I'm gifting the canoes to the people that are here today. Each one has a different style of canoe.
Birch bark canoes were sourced from the trees, roots, and materials surrounding Ojibwe people, providing a sustainable method of transport that glided over the waters. Birch bark is used to line the hull, shaped by white cedar gunnels, bound by spruce roots hand-picked from the soil. Ribs are formed carefully from white cedar planks to complete the canoe, creating a light, sturdy, and reliable vessel to cut through the water. On shore, they are met by traditional canoe builders Josie Thomas and Matt Stevens.
What excites me most about this journey is the learning part. I'd love to learn more about traditional ways that the fur traders used to travel on these rivers, and really just get into nature.
I'm very anxious to learn. Just listen, sit and intake, and be respectful, because these are people who have lived a life that I kind of want to get into myself, you know, be self-sufficient, self-reliant.
Hope that after this, the 25 days, I'll have more of an appreciation for the traditional values and teachings and survival skills that I'm taught by the elders.
These waterways are, there are roads, there are highways, so our primary means of transportation were these Jimanag. Everybody east of the Mississippi River, we're canoe people, and then when you go west, they're the horse people.
Paddling a birch bark canoe is quite different than a regular canoe because it has no keel on the bottom of it. It's like jumping on a flying saucer or a crazy carpet. I'm hoping right now that they don't flip the canoe, or I hope the water is not that cold if they do.
It looked like we almost tipped when we were getting in though. They both sat on the same side. That was kind of funny. When we got in the boat, it started all sinking in for us, and I think we all kind of realized like, yeah, we're definitely going to be in the woods for the next 25 days now.
After a nerve-wracking paddle, they're not yet ready for the rivers and are called back to shore to learn the skills vital to repairing traditional canoes. Stripping bark and making pitch to patch holes could mean the difference between life and death on the frigid waters.
So in order to seal them up, we're going to be using some of nature's finest tools ever. Okay, we got some Wigwam, some birch bark, and we also have some pine pitch. Today we'll be using spruce pitch or spruce gum. What we want to look for is just the crystallizing of the sap that comes out of the tree. You don't want to cut into the tree. You just want to find the pieces on the outside of the tree. Pop some of this off. You'll see how it's coming off here. Small pieces here. Now, the bigger the tree that you get, the more sap that you're going to be able to come off, right? So before we decide to leave this tree, we all want to just honor this tree.
I've never made a patch for a birch bark canoe before, so this is the first time. And even cutting this birch bark today was the first time I've ever done that. So it's really cool to actually see it being done.
So absolutely, I do feel like I am reconnecting more with my roots and being able to understand just how my ancestors had lived at one period. So these are all only like beneficial skills, and it definitely has gotten me a lot more in tune with, my roots and nature itself.
Hearing someone say something is one thing, but seeing someone do something and then doing it yourself is the best way to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important to be able to paddle your own canoe kind of thing, build it from scratch. And I'm really curious to test that if you slice one down and then around, if it just shed its own skin, so to speak. I'd really like to see that. That sounds interesting. And I mean, nature provides.
Like, I can't remember the last time I've done my own laundry or cleaned my own house. I've always paid people to, so it's gonna be quite the experience.
I don't know if I've ever make a birch bark canoe. That seems pretty intense.
Like, I've never been so grungy like this in my life. Like, there's no expectation of how you have to dress or how you have to be or how quick you have to have things done. Or
I have sap all over my fingers because I was harvesting
gooey stuff.
Sticky sap.
We made a good team.
At least I'm gonna learn some things. Hopefully when I go home I'll do my own laundry. Highly doubt it though.
The daily demand of food, fire, and shelter have not yet been realized by the group. Failure to acquire just one could be life-threatening. Before their journey continues, they must complete their teaching of turning spruce gum into sealant.
So you saw how I mixed it together, right? I crushed up the charcoal first, let the sap drain down into it. Then that's when you mix it. Once it's all nice and mixed into a nice liquid, then you put just a little wee bit of the bear grease into it, mix it up, and then that's how you'd put it on her. But it's usually you got to do it fast, right? This is our pitch. See how it's starting to already get thicken? That's when we need to get over here. So we'll come over to the canoe. You want to get that on there. So the best way to get it on there nice and evenly and everything, right, after it starts to harden like how it is, what you want to do is it sounds weird, you lick your finger because it won't get stuck to water, right? You lick your finger and you just spread it out.
Does it cool down fairly quickly?
No, I'm not burning myself.
Oh yeah, that's it.
So today we got a rundown on how to, fix a birch bark canoe, and that was a really awesome experience. It's something I've thought about a lot, when you see old pictures and, you wonder about the fragility of them and how they would have dealt with it, when they're traveling from place to place. And it just seemed like maybe it would be a long, long process, but, it's actually surprisingly quick. You find the right tree, a little bit of charcoal and a little bit of bear grease, which they would have had on hand. And I like the idea of carrying that little repair kit along, like people would do nowadays for patching a tire or something, right? And it's probably just as quick for some people to change a tire as it is for them to patch a birch bark canoe when you've got a lot of experience. So that was awesome to see today.
Despite their first success, the impact of realizing their ties to the land has already changed the perspective for some members of the group.
It started when we were collecting resin or pine sap for repairing the canoes, and I kind of got a headache and kind of turned into a migraine, and for a while it was making me pretty miserable, and I was offered a jar of medicine, which but I thought it was going to be bear grease, but it turned out to be a different medicine, and it was a medicine my mom used a lot, and it was a medicine that she requested that I used in her last rites, and it brought a lot of emotions back to me all at once that I thought were kind of buried, and so I kind of had to step back a little bit and I don't know, try to rethink why I'm here, I guess, because I was kind of struggling with some stuff, but she's a main reason why I'm here and why I'm doing this. And so I think in her honor I'm gonna do the best I can and try to make it a worthy trip.
As sunlight fades and their first night under the stars becomes a reality, the adventurers receive unexpected gifts from the elders to help them on their journey. Clothing, furs, tools, a warm fire, and a few days' supply of pemmican are a welcome gift to the hungry group, who will soon need to rely on each other in ways they've never experienced before.
Only one.
Traditionally, what we used to do is we used to camp out underneath the canoes. So whenever we'd be portaging or traveling or whichever, come nighttime, we would lean up our canoe with a cedar pole and sleep underneath it. Okay, we'd line the bottom of it, kind of like a mattress with the hides. So that's what the hides are for, and that's what we're gonna be doing tonight.
Sleeping on the floor of the earth again is gonna be really exciting. I haven't really done that before. I've done lots of camping, canoe trips, and living in the woods, but we've always had some modern conveniences, you know, like tarps or just different things that you take for granted. So this is going to be a big learning experience. And that's what I'm excited about.
With the temperature dropping and elders departing, they must work together to create their first shelter and collect enough firewood to last the night. Basic tools, the materials around them, 3 canoes, and each other. This is all these strangers have. From now on, they must learn to rely on each other. They are on their own for the next 25 days.
Our first little smudge of the group.
Yeah, first smudge.
First night out in the woods.
Yeah. Day 1, let's get it.
Night 1. Looking forward to the rest of this journey with all of you guys. It's been great getting to know you already.
Yeah, like you guys are all super close. It's the most fun I've ever had being in like the most challenging situation I've ever been in my life. So it's nice. Hopefully we all can learn a lot.
There's a change in the tides. Our people must grow. The land remains a part of us. Our culture will survive. 6 adventurers can regain what was taken. They should listen to the waters, find truth in the wild, and share knowledge with the next generations. Who we are is not lost yet. Who we can be is our choice. Mother Nature is our provider. Can we rediscover our link through the elders? Is it time for our way back to begin?
Whatever it's again, it's a mando. Pinanakumagon na nortagizigak. Minegi melomadzisiak. Minanan maskawiziwan. Nestaga stentagos win. Blogonomanan. Nesta shaweniminan. Anort nesta kagige. Hinabuagige. Anurtitayan. Melomadzisiak. Nortagizigak. Nesta kagige. Mingwes kitchamandu. Mingwes kitchamandu.
It's day 1. Well, I guess after night 1.
Day 2.
Yeah, no way this is recording. I don't even know how to explain this, but Caleb's snore is pretty loud. And it rained. And I'm just trying to figure out if this is all real life.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. The adventurers will remain one more day at Twin Lakes Camp, hoping to get their canoes water ready for tomorrow's paddle. Their first night in the wild has left the adventurers wet and cold. Cramped together under their improvised canoe shelter, they quickly got to know one another.
Well, at least we have a fire going. Here, does anybody else want to talk about how the night was? Everybody else is good? Am I the only one who complains?
Brandon probably slept the most. Like, based on the snore count.
Yeah.
But I was able to keep track because I didn't sleep.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I felt as though I did not get that great a sleep, but apparently my snoring would indicate otherwise, you know.
Poor Brendan was sleeping in the bottom parts was like the wettest part. Go, or bad for him.
The rest of us, though, me and Ebony, just sat outside majority of the night and watched the fire and talked. So it wasn't bad. Caleb joined us for a little bit, but then he went back to bed.
I don't know where my feet were in the middle of the night, but apparently they were exposed to the rain, so I got my feet soaked.
We had a pretty miserable night. It was pretty wet and cold and didn't get much sleep.
It was rough. Didn't realize my lower half was exposed to the elements. My upper half was quite warm. Oh no, it wasn't too bad. I'm just happy there's not a big bump from when I lift my head and smacked it on the teepee.
I think I slept for an hour last night.
You know, at least we had all these experiences, though, because at least now we're gonna know how to set things up properly. We used our spruce bristle things, and they were like wet, so it made everything colder and it rained, so it was just uncomfortable.
There was just embers, so I got it roaring again because I knew if there's a big fire, you could get warm.
In terms of how we start a next fire, carrying pockets full of tinder would be good.
Yeah, dry.
I'm just following Ebony's lead here.
We can just start cutting wood as soon as we get to our new campsite, which would be smart.
Yeah, and start making a fire right away. And then Brendan had the idea of getting a mushroom.
These mushrooms, fungal growth on trees, are really good at holding heat. You know, they can hold an ember for a long time. All it takes is a little blowing, some tinder, and you get it started up again. So it's a portable lighter.
So we'll need to get that mushroom and
Travel with it?
travel with it.
Yeah.
If we want to bring them on canoe, it's been advised to us we should stick them in wet birch bark. That's why they call me a fun guy.
Well, someone's just gotta like keep care of it because you have to keep blowing on it.
We could make a little canoe and just trail it behind the big one. We got the bark.
With only one more day at Twin Lakes to ready their canoes for the first big paddle, working together will be essential to their survival.
We put pitch on them yesterday, a homemade pitch that we had learned how to do from the elders. So we're gonna actually see if it works and see if our boats are sealed, put them in the water, and because we don't want any water in our boats, we don't want our stuff getting wet.
But I'm super excited because I love canoeing, and these birch bark canoes are really fun to do. It definitely takes a lot more skill set.
Today we're going out in the canoe, and that's going to be a fun experience. See if our pitch job worked well enough and if we can work well as a teams of two. I'm used to kayaking myself, where it's all you know. And we got to do the knees too, not to mention, you know, when I've ever done canoe, it's always sitting in a comfortable position. Have to adjust my comfortabilities, I suppose.
I have a feeling that I'm going to be quite wet because I don't know how good our patch jobs are.
So a couple of things I'm concerned with right now as we, go to set our canoes in the water for the first time. Obviously, is taking on water. So we did our first patch job yesterday, which, I'm pretty confident in, but there's still a little bit of mystery until we put the boats in the water. And then, of course, tipping.
I'm kind of nervous to put our canoes in the water. It's pretty wet. It seems to be coming off, so I think we're definitely going to take on some water.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty confident canoeer. I'm with Ebony, who's maybe less confident, or maybe a little bit more nervous about it, but trying to calm her nerves and reassure that we'll be good to go and that we're not tipping at all.
Like I said, I'm the least experienced one, so I definitely don't want to be the one that tips the boat.
Properly patching canoes was imperative to traders. Without this skill, travel to new sources of game to provide food and trade materials would have been impossible. If the adventurers fail at patching their canoes, they could find themselves stuck in an area offering no sustainable resources.
It's filling up really fast. Like I can see it gushing in. It's not a good leak.
So we can work patch it then,
At least I know where it is.
You guys look badass.
You guys look pretty badass yourselves.
We're really scared. It's a very tippy boat.
That's good. I think we got the swing of it. Yeah. We didn't tip.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do is just breathe. Easy.
We got a lot of water in there. We gotta patch it up. I think it's coming from the back because up here it's just completely dry. But it could be also from...
I saw some come from right under you, but...
Could be from there too as well.
Probably under me too, it's probably pressure we're applying, maybe making just a minute crack.
Yeah, probably.
We'll have to figure it out.
With their canoes needing more work, the adventurers must also consider all of the roles required for a successful camp. While testing their canoes, the adventurers had neglected to keep their fire stoked. Without it, they will have no way to cook, make pitch for their canoes, or stay warm. In the wild, it is one of the most basic but essential keys to survival. Awaiting them at camp is Elder Charlie Baxter.
Tansy.
Umaga bisayan, umagi ditian, giwa ma umayaig iskutegi. When I came here today, I noticed that the fire was out, and so we're gonna learn how to make fire again.
Well, I hope so.
We hope so, right? That way.
Yeah, we hope
Okay.
so.
Hey, good day. Aha, escutei asa, escutei, kabuto women. When I got stone to put doing, where scotch, we got to take man to put to an annual. A sin, yeah, but jagging even. And I had to scare got bang artic, I got to go. I shingle we not think we should not go. You again, I would just sin. I got to take where to put to an annual. Where the shower, no, my win with the you and Jim again. With the way with the Wasagaya weapon in our area, in the North community, you had to know, North community, kind of Chumas and there's kind of there's no flint nearby on my in the scheme. I just we got the Canoe man. You would just in Gagi Amuta man, and know it does be shagging yab, garbage storming.
A popular and reliable method of fire starting, flint rock is struck against ferrous metal to create sparks that fly onto a nest, often made of moss, twigs, bark, and fibers of clothing or rope. Hot embers are then gently blown until a flame appears.
So this here I have in my hand is the flint, the rock. And you're going to strike it. You're going to strike it like that and break a piece of this, start a fire. So that's what we'll do.
All right, wish me luck, guys.
Good luck.
If no one got it and we had no fire, we would all be really cold. I was already feeling pretty cold by that point.
Super strike.
You can move around to get warmer, but eventually when you're not eating much, you run out of energy, so you really need to just sit down and rest beside a fire.
It's gotta be like a solid strike.
This is the guy who didn't do that.
Hey, I was getting sparks. They just weren't catching. They were just falling right on. Oh, I did nick my thumb, I guess, in a couple places. There's 3 little dots right there.
How was I holding this one before?
Yeah, when we tried to start the fire with the flint, there was pressure, but it was evened out among all of us, right? We all share it because we all share the fire, so.
Felt like way more confident when I went out and tried to start it. But I noticed, like, for my skill set and like just, my little hands, it's definitely not, really safe for me to be doing anything fast where my fingers are. I'm really not trying to cut myself. I already have.
Oh my God, that is such a bad burn. Oh, look at that.
It's 3rd degree.
Yeah. Does that hurt? Of course not.
No.
So what I want you to do is just keep that on her and find some cordage or whichever. But when you put the moss on it, always this on the cut, right?
That's kind of made it a little bit harder to do things too because it does hurt. Okay, I'm done.
I didn't expect anyone to really get it, to be honest, just because like everyone had a turn, everyone had a run through, and like only a couple of sparks had come from either one of them.
Oh, I see them.
Oh, there we go.
Make it rain.
Then it's like spanking that metal with the rock.
I kind of thought Caleb would be the first one just because of how many like sparks he was creating. I don't even think I got any sparks at all from mine.
Want me to try again?
Yeah, go for it.
Give it another try.
Try the axe too.
I'm gonna try this. This has been proven over the centuries. Not recent centuries.
Yeah, apparently not today.
It's really frustrating to have nothing happening when you're striking it and there's no spark.
I really didn't think I was gonna get it.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Woo! As if! Woo! All right, Tim, now you're the designated fire starter, all right? That's you.
Every morning.
Tim eventually got the fire going and that was really amazing.
When it lit up,
it lit up in his hand. It like, there was a huge flame in his hand. He had to put it down super fast.
Oh yeah, I was excited. That was because it was kind of starting to get really smoky, and I wasn't sure if it was eventually going to catch, and all of a sudden, boom, it just lit on fire and just kind of startled me, and I was able to, you know, start the fire for the team, and that was really cool, and you know, I had the big smile on my face, so.
The look on his face, he was so happy. I was like, oh man, I want to do that too. Like, it looks really fun. Maybe it's worth, you know, scraping your fingers up a little bit.
So it was a lot more rewarding, like just sitting by the fire that you knew that you lit with literally one little spark.
I don't know if it was just a one-off, but yeah, we'll try again, and we'll have to try again. So I think we'll all become pretty proficient over the next few weeks of building fires.
Tim, I'd like to thank you very much on your success in doing the fire. You know, it's for your keeping, for your warmth. And
Miigwech for the teaching.
Anyway.
After their first night surrounded by the wild, the adventurers are hopeful something they heard could also become food.
That beaver was like right there, eh?
Right there. If I'd been in my skivvies, I would have tried it.
What if you should bring your spear on the canoe?
Actually, maybe. Well, I think we burned it though.
Oh yeah.
We've been hearing them splashing around and getting close to camp, even chewing up some of the logs not too far off from camps.
We kept hearing splashing in the water from fish, but then we kind of heard like a different noise, and it's more or less like a slap. Someone slapped the water really loud.
It seemed to be moving, like it started out a little further, and then it ended up making its way really close. It sounded like it was just down there right by our camp. And then I guess this morning when people were walking around collecting wood, they came across these wood chips and saw, I guess, that it was a beaver. So there's definitely a beaver that seemed to join us at camp.
Charlie, before you go, I just wanted to ask you if you could help us set this beaver trap that we found.
Earlier that morning, while searching for firewood, Michaela turned up an unusual find, a beaver trap. She now hoped Elder Charlie could help her set the rusty trap to catch one of the beaver the group had heard in the area.
Okay. Well, the first time I lit it, the flame went over the edge and caught it on fire, which they had warned us about, but okay. It was just too hot. The flame just reached over and lit it up.
Salvage it. Salvage it.
How?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Scrape it off.
And start again.
First attempt at making pitch, we let a little open flame touch the lid and started a grease fire. Had called a wash. I suppose blowing on it would do anything.
This is a beaver trail right here. We're gonna try to set a trap.
With a single beaver able to feed the entire group, a catch could give them food for days.
What else do we need? Is a peg that can cut you something?
Oh, just dry stuff. Dry twigs.
Meanwhile, the others begin repatching their canoes, applying the teachings they had received.
And that's a lot to try and replace too, because we'll have to be collecting, we're losing daylight. We'll get it done by tomorrow.
That's a lot though, a lot of, for what we were making yesterday.
We'll have to dry this if we put anything over it either.
A great source of fat and protein, beaver pelts could also provide added clothing and supplies.
Yes, I engineered a pitch-perfect portable pallet. Patent pending. And it seems to work. It saves you from burnt fingers, which is nice. Once the pitch is all heated and ready, you scrape it off the surface and into something, and then you would use it like just a paintbrush and dab it on. And it's useful if you lick your thumb first because it instantly cools and thus it won't stick to you and burn you.
Best thing I've learned, I think, was probably the patching up the canoe, because we put it down as gently as we could, and regardless of the fact that we were careful, we still put a little hole and little indent into it.
I probably have, just about as much experience as somebody who's, you know, living in the city. I mean, like, I know my medicines, and I mean, I know like stuff like cedar, but I really am not experienced at all.
I don't know, I think I just have a little bit of experience with canoe tripping and being out in the wilderness. Maybe not everybody has those set of skills, and that's okay. She does want to try things and maybe just needs that little nudge, and yeah, I'm down to do that, and yeah, it'll be good.
Being here and learning new things together, it definitely brings you a lot closer than, you know, just being acquaintances in the city, because we actually have to rely on each other out here. We don't want to argue or anything like that, because that's probably like the worst thing to do. So the best thing we could do is just get along with each other right off the hop and work with each other.
But you know, he uses a seasoned drill. He comes up.
As they reflect on the importance of working together, Michaela calls everyone to a group meeting so they can better organize their efforts.
And I think that the rest of the crew is definitely in the same mind frame, because it's turned out to be like a really helpful crew. And it's like almost like instantaneous friendship.
Wood and hunting?
Yeah, me and Tim, wood and hunting.
Wood and hunting. I definitely want to do latrine and wood. Well, we're all going to do wood, but
Michaela has definitely taken a leadership role because she's been on many journeys with little kids. So I mean, when you know how to deal with little kids, I think it's a little easier to deal with the big kids. And no, she's taken she was nice to delegate and hold that meeting and really brought us together as a group.
that's good. Yeah, that's really good. And also, like, you can help with the pitch
Absolutely.
collection.
Feel free to boss me around. I won't tell Michaela again, you know, just tell me what to do, boss me around, I'm fine with it.
We have no control.
I got it. Good horse.
I guess we do need a plan, and it was actually really good that someone actually stepped up to the plate and took that leadership role.
Nice.
How comfortable was your landing?
It was actually really comfy. Thanks to that bed.
Growing closer as friends, the adventurers hope their new fire-making skills and group effort at a new shelter will give them a better night's sleep before they hit the open water tomorrow.
I always love to share these kind of things because there's a lot of people, you know, especially who are Indigenous, that just don't, you know, like they're almost kind of like embarrassed of it, and they don't, you know, want to learn. They don't want to celebrate those kind of things, but these songs, like, they always have like a story behind them, and it's important that we do keep those type of teaching, because like it's another thing like our language.
Our mother is the provider, but she challenges. Alone, we cannot carry all the knowledge she has shared. Braided together, we show our strength in unity, enabling us to use all her gifts. Reaching out to others and offering our abilities gives us the chance to light the way forward. If we cannot see a way, can we make one together? Can we turn our knowledge into our children's wisdom?
Udebel itigan gitsimando. Pinanakumago na nortagizigak. Minegi melomadzisiak. Mininan maskawiziwin. Nesta stentaguswin. Mlogonomanan. Nesta shawenimanan. Anurt nesta kagige. Hinabuagige gegon. Anurtitayan. Emelomadzisiak. Anortagizigak. Anurtesta kagige. Mingwes gitsimando. Mingwes gitsimando.
Today we're going to be constructing a wigwam that is in a conical structure or a cone structure, much like a teepee. And
You guys, can you hold the axe there right now, please?
we hold the axe.
Or go far away in the other direction. Thanks.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Yeah. Hold off and stop doing it. I'll start over with that.
6 strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Waking to another wet morning under their canoes, the adventurers continue adapting to the life of their ancestors. Having to survive for 3 more weeks on the land, they have quickly realized the importance of a secure shelter.
Well, I mean, the first use of a canoe is not really a shelter, so a canoe is kind of just a quick method to get under and covered.
It rained during the night, so but
You were tucked under the canoe.
I was cozy. I was cozy.
You were cozy. Yeah.
That's what you get for not going to bed early.
Yeah, I guess I was comfy, cozy. I was warm. I didn't actually get comfortable to sleep very well, but everybody else was snuggling up against me, keeping warm. And this guy had his hand in my face at one point, and people stroking my hair, thinking it was rabbit fur.
I'm happy to see the morning come and progress to another day.
Having to cooperate and keep a good pace, their first paddle to a new camp will see them covering 3 kilometers as they learn to work together in the canoes. Moving from Twin Lakes, they aim for Fallen Tree, which offers a similar environment so they can apply the teachings they have already received. Coming ashore, they are happy to see a familiar face.
Oh, get some visitors.
Bonjour.
Hey, Stan.
Okay, watch it.
Hi, I'm Caleb.
Watch it.
Caleb.
Big Caleb.
Caleb,
Little
yeah,
Caleb.
this is Caleb. This is,
Bonjour.
Brendan.
Bonjour.
Okay, the Milantin, I'm a taguk mino, te visit to take. You ma ni chikoso, Caleb. And they all see how lumen saraigen. They get shower knock and they wallow. You go maga. You go just Kanomaga and they do the mega and they do the mega kaigen the cake. You was the tiger and they get the penusi moyek. May God the Matigisigak, the Matigisigak. You go to Mago Stuna. And they get the penusi moyek, Takaya, give away Gamuan, give away. Mesuo sa buhay sige kake, kagi Kanomaga and they do the Ego to sa Kino to go Stunawa, Kino Uma Itutamege, Kino Boga Dutanawa, or Boga Kanomaga, Kino to go Messe, Kabuka Cinema was the Tutamege, me to not to get the way at the Benushamu in Sargate. We would have met to go or Messe of a job. So could be going on a Mr. One Gabbard 2 hours. It was 2 years. Is it a Benushamu get the Bekak? You could just scoot there. Old 2 hours, it gets a wash a year. Monsieur Kanamago, or Nichako, Kanamago, and they do the make.
Anin Bojo, Kennen and Edish Nakas, Bazanashin Dorem, Mississagi and the Schnabe and Endo, Hamadashko de Ang and Donjaba, Bojo, 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 Wanana Bojo. My name's Caleb. I'm from Hiawatha First Nation in Rice Lake, and Mississauga Ojibwe, and I'm a survival instructor. I'll be teaching you guys today how to stay warm for once, to actually get warm for the night and to stay dry. We're gonna make you guys a shelter. We're gonna show you how to make a lean-to, which is the simplest one to do for this. It's been used by our people for thousands of years, if not longer. They're very simple compared to other shelters. We don't have bendable poles here. We don't have really good bark this time of year to peel. So we're gonna be depending on boughs, poles, and a traditional fabric that was used since the 1600s. That's canvas. We will depend on that only if we don't get enough material to construct the shelter. Canvas has been traded to our people from old sailcloths from the French and the English since as far back as 1623. We've got a long history using this throughout the fur trade era into the 1800s and beyond. So everything is going to be old school today. We're inside Oji Cree territory within a beautiful part of the boreal forest, the southern central area of the boreal forest. And it's a beautiful territory that Stan and his family have been on for, well, since time immemorial, since before there were stories. So this is a really, really beautiful space and ripe with resources that are gonna be able to keep you warm. I've heard a few stories. You guys have been out here for a few days now, cold, wet, probably a little hungry, a little tired, not getting enough rest. We're gonna try and rectify that today. We only got a few more hours of daylight, so let's get to work.
One of the most effective methods of a quick and sturdy shelter is the lean-to, a solid frame made with a ridge pole lashed between two trees. It supports a wall made with interwoven branches covered by a layer of boughs. A fire is lit at the front, keeping them warm throughout the night.
So between this pole and that tree right there, we're gonna put a ridge pole. We're gonna first have to clear this area. We got some brushes come down from windfall. We got some small firs in here. We got overhang. We've checked the area for widowmakers. There should be no trees that can come down in here and harm you if they're dead standing. But there's a lot of stuff that can gouge you in the eyes, gouge you in the mouth, and that's just not a good day. So we're gonna clear out as much of this as we can. We got a couple of logs as well that we're gonna have to buck and move, which we can probably use for the structure of the shelter or for your firewood, and it's gonna help a lot. So first things first, get the stuff out of your eyes. So reach as high as you can, break the branch. Break it as close to the tree as you can. If you can't break it as close to the tree as you can, like if it's still sticking out quite a bit, you can always take the handle of your axe and clear it. So it all comes off fairly clean.
Are you using the handle so you don't dull it?
Yeah, you know, and also you just don't need it. You just need blunt force trauma to really get this stuff to come off. So clearing it off as best you can, as high as you can reach, because we're gonna be working as high as we can reach to make this shelter, and it also gets rid of all this debris, and this is really good kindling to start the fire with. Same with that side, and then once we get that clear, we'll start working on the ground floor. All right, so get to work.
With the moon already rising, the adventurers are running out of time to complete a shelter large enough to keep them all warm as the temperature drops. Hard at work on building their first proper shelter, the adventurers are excited at the potential for a good night's rest.
So far in this journey, our shelters have been made largely of spruce boughs and canoes. So it's not watertight, and we have had a couple damp nights. But you know, we come together as a team, and that's what we're doing now to build a better shelter.
What's the most beautiful part to this for me is we're reintroducing them to their ancestry. We are connecting them and reconnecting them to the heritage that goes back way before contact. Other than the canvas, everything here, their ancestors had way back 2,000, 4,000 years ago. And so that is extremely beautiful to me. That's really magical. And if they have the chance to connect even to one little thing, like how to split roots or how to clean spruce roots or how to break a bough, that's a chance for them to think that their great-great-grandmother or their great-great-great-granduncle knew how to do that stuff all the time and did it. And then go home and show it to their family or show it to their siblings or their kids. And that's awesome.
It's going to be like this. Okay, like this. And tie down. Then after that, you put more wood there.
The teachings are bringing the team together, with some exceptions.
I mean, but the thing is like you still have to consistently, like somebody always has to like stay up and like feed fire, and like it's just getting exhausting. Like I've had like realistically no sleep, and then everybody else snores, so it's like I can't get to sleep because everybody falls asleep in like somehow 5 minutes.
The reason we want to put the ridge pole on this side, this is where all the weight's going to be coming from. Oh, okay. We put on this side, now that root is the only thing holding it on. So this way the weight can help pin it against the shelter. Always keep your ridge pole on the inside of the shelter. If not, this thing becomes a deadfall trap. And I'm sure Stan knows enough about deadfalls. You don't really want to be caught in one.
Break your neck.
Big Caleb told little Caleb, go get some trees, bigger trees, because I guess mine weren't long enough. But that's good though, because at least my feet won't get crushed.
I want you to have your feet down here and your head up there. We want to make sure your heads are past the ridge pole a bit, so it doesn't land right on your heads if it does break. Kind of helps.
Yeah, I'll go a little further.
This is good, this is good, this is good.
What, that's good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I really hope that it's tied well. I don't really feel like having that thing Hit my head in the middle of the night. Might clip my forehead.
Yeah, it's okay. Just gives you a better story to tell when you get home. There's a lot of benefits to constructing shelters from the land. First and foremost, it lightens your load. The more you know, the less you carry. All right, so first lesson with axes. If at all possible, never put them in the dirt because you don't know what's down there. There could be a rock, and if you chip that edge, that takes files and stones and a lot of stuff you don't have out here. For safety, there's a lot of ways to hold an axe, but the one thing you got to remember is when it goes to horizontal, that's as far as it can go. You don't want it to swing.
Little did I know I was just swinging the axe at my feet this entire time. I'm lucky to have my feet, I guess.
That's going to break your leg open. That's going to bust you up. I've got enough scars to prove it.
Because I did have an accident. As I swung down, the piece of log started to tip, and I just sort of ricocheted off it, and it did go into the side of my leg, which wasn't fun.
Do not try to be powerful with an axe. Try to be precise with an axe. Be precise, not powerful. If it takes 20 chops to get through a log, then it takes 20 chops, but at least your feet are together and your hands are still intact.
Standing too close to the tree, I thought I was going to use my leg. I thought you were about to use my leg as an example.
When you're trying to throw a pole, you want to get as far away as possible. Some people try to throw it like a spear. That doesn't work. Some people just toss it. You hold it like that, and then just push your hand, springboards it. Far away, far away. Gets it away from you. Because you just toss it, it can catch up on branches and come back. Yeah, any roots that are stuck in the ground, yeah. Find those roots though, because we're going to be needing those for binding. We want nice, big, strong roots. We're in a really good spot here. We got nice mossy ground. We got a few larger conifers. Most of these look like balsam fir. Their roots will do. We want it's better if it's black spruce or white spruce, but balsam fir will do as long as we got enough of them. So what I do is I find where a tree's coming out, and I start lifting back the moss. What I really want to do is start digging into this dirt until I snag a root like that one there. See that? Once I find a couple, I start digging with them.
I have just chopped down this tree to help make our lean-to shelter. And I might have gone a little bulky.
Just dig it. Just dig it down, see what's around it. See if you can loosen everything around that. It might be attached to that tree. If so, we'll just stop.
Got one.
Yeah, digging roots for lashing. So this is sort of a new type of cordage for me. Never seen it used maybe, but never used it myself. So this is cool. Elder Stan was saying you got to worry about the Maje Gijigan, right? The bad days, right? So keep us protected from the rain and the snow and that kind of thing. So keep us warm.
I've always wanted to be a lumberjack. Go big or go home.
Other way it's going to help them is it completely reconnects you. You are completely intimate with the material that is taking care of you, and that material comes from the land, from Aking, being on the land. Those boughs that they're going to be sleeping on top of, they broke those. They took those from the trees. They're going to know those boughs. So what I want you to do is lift up the bottom of these boughs and lay it all the way down to the ground, all right? They're going to remember each and every single one of them as they lay them into their bed. They're going to remember all those trees that they tied together. They're going to remember how to dig roots every time. They're going to understand these things much more intimately than if they went out here with a nylon tent and a sleeping bag made of synthetic fiber.
With a wealth of knowledge and resources at their fingertips, the adventurers are beginning to understand their ancestors' journey. As seasons change and the landscape shifts, the ability to adapt and work in harmony with others and the environment around them can make the difference between life and death. These teachings are not only about keeping them alive, but rekindling their spirit and their connection. With daylight growing short and another wet night ahead, the adventurers are excited to be nearing the end of their first well-built shelter.
When we went on the land where there's a lot of cedar, we used cedar boughs to make a good bedding. They smell good. You can smell that too.
When it comes down to the bedding, you're gonna have to change your bedding at least every 2 days. And when people think changing bedding, they think that means you have to throw it all out. That just means add some more on top. Because what happens, you start compressing it and it doesn't come back.
Right.
So you gotta add more on top, and over time, your bed would actually be 2-3 meters deep, but it's actually only a couple inches deep.
Being out on the land and sleeping under the stars has impacted the group in different ways.
I really hate it. It's getting like way colder at night than it should be, and our shelters that we have definitely have sucked, so hopefully tonight will be better, but I mean, I doubt it.
I'm looking for small cedars about this size, so we can use the bedding. You cut like this. What do you call these boughs? Cedar boughs, you call them. So if you can just reach in by your hand like this, so you can use them for bedding.
Like everything's, looks good until you get in there and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and your feet are ice cubes. So, I don't know, I guess we'll see how it goes. See how many more days I can last. I don't know if everybody else is doing it.
It just feels so nice to be in nature. I was waiting for this to happen for a long time. I just love the peacefulness of it all, and I find it very meditative, even when you're chopping wood, and you just have this like iron focus on staying alive, keeping warm, and you just have these like really basic life chores to do that when you do them you feel so fulfilled, which is different than when you're living in the city. You can waste the whole day just watching Netflix or kind of wasting away feeling like what's the meaning of life. But when you're out in the bush, the meaning of life is to stay alive, and you feel more alive out in the bush.
Let that birch bark burn for a moment. Let it take its heat. What I like to do is wait until the fire's waving at me. Those flames are dancing up high. And then I'll start releasing this, kind of get back down to it. Before I put any more wood on, again, I'm going to wait for those flames to wave at me, like that. And then I know it's time to put some more on. So I walk over here, grab some of the sticker stuff. Kayla, would you like to help grab me this log here? Put it right on top. Like that. Now the real secret to these shelters is a lot of people think you want the wind coming from the back. That's going to cause a wind eddy. It's going to cycle all the smoke in there. You want the breeze coming in along it. You make a high wall like that, it's going to help suck that smoke in like a void and draw it away from you as well. But we're leaving behind a lot of knowledge about shelters for you that you can carry on your journey for the next few weeks. Stay warm, have a good night.
All right, before you and Stanley leave, on behalf of our little tribe over here, we have an offering for you. I'd like to thank you both for the teachings. And I'm sure it's something that will keep with us for the rest of our lives. I can't thank you enough for passing down this knowledge so we can definitely pass it down to our children one day. I wish us luck.
I do.
Fire roaring and the lean-to complete, Caleb and Stanley depart, confident in the traditional knowledge they have passed on.
I'm really impressed by this crew. They have done exceptional. In a very short time frame, they threw together a frame and covered it. Some of them really had certain strengths. Some of them were the firewood getters. So you look at someone like Michaela, who's going out and she's coming back with logs as big as her on her shoulders. That just amazed me. That wowed me. And then you look back and you're seeing people like Brendan, who was just focused on bringing poles in. Even when we had enough poles, he just felt the need to go out and get a little bit more. And amazingly, we actually had a need for them. I thought we had enough, and every pole he brought in, we put to use on that frame. And all the boughs that they kept bringing in, all the materials they kept bringing in, the fact that some of them were just so focused on getting those roots perfect, getting them nice and long, nice and straight, and bringing back the right stuff, and how keen they were on learning this stuff. This is going to go miles ahead for them If they can focus on making sure that their firewood is stocked for the night and they have an open fire going really well, and they learn how to work as a team to make sure that that fire remains stoked and doesn't go out on them or burn down low, I think that they're going to have more than just a good time. I think they're going to have great success. I think they're actually going to enjoy it. I think they're going to actually not survive out here, but thrive out here and live out here. That's what Anishinaabe are. That's what OG Cree are. We aren't surviving out here, we're living out here.
The group, eager to get a good night's sleep, share their last supply of pemmican and hope to rest well before their first long paddle ahead. Our teacher is the land. Creator has surrounded us with the gifts to build shelter, to build home. If we do not respect Mother Nature, we cannot ask for her gifts. We must lean on the elders and each other to stand strong. Working as one gives strength to all, but as one, do we all complete the same task? Are we ready to do more than survive? Are our people ready to thrive?
Udebel itigen gitsimando. Pinanako mago na nortagi jigak. Minegi melomadzis yak. Mininan maskawi ziwin. Nesta tentagus win. Mlogonomenan. Nesta shawene menan. Anurt nesta kagege. Hinabu agege gegon. Anurt tayan. Emelomadzis yak. Nortagi jigak. Anurt nesta kagege. Mingwes gitsimando. Mingwes gitsimando.
Crack in the bottom of it.
It's okay.
Oh shoot.
There's a crack on my bottom too, so it's mine.
6 strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Most of the adventurers wake thankful. They have remained warm and dry overnight. But they begin the day realizing they have finished all their pemmican. Without any food stores, everything must now be sourced from the land. They are adapting to the tasks they face each morning, but a successful harvesting camp requires they meet its non-stop demands.
Every morning we seem to have minced and rosehip tea or cedar and rosehip tea. Good source of sugar. 5 out of 6 of us like it.
Holy, call me right out, eh? Yeah, I hate it. It's
Not Gabriella's favorite, but
nothing's Gabriella's favorite.
You only have to divide it by 5.
The strain is affecting them differently, both physically and emotionally.
We've been living a nomadic life, and it is taking a toll on, the joints, muscles, our hunger, our stress levels, anxieties.
I'd rather starve to death than freeze to death.
Well, Gabby had a meltdown yesterday.
Thanks for the weekend, and Gabriella's not doing anymore for nobody.
Just kind of brought the whole attitude of the group down a little bit.
Gabby's behavior and personality, I guess, are a little much at times. It's not like we're the kind of people who are going to exile anyone or anything. It's not the kind of show where you can vote someone off the island. So we try to calm her and assure her that she can make it, everything's all right. But yeah, she definitely has a Toronto mentality, if I can say something. Oh, that's a Windsor boy talking.
And she just gets tired, and that changes her energy.
There's poles, and I'm only 5 feet tall, and these things are like 20 feet tall, and you got to carry them, and it's not fun.
Everyone's kind of trying to bite their tongue a little bit, and trying to let her do her thing, but
because there's so many trees and you got to maneuver through them, and I keep getting stuck in between 2 trees. It's not great.
Like if I'm upset,
I mean, especially just being 19 and stuff too. If somebody will say, oh, well, yo, don't be like that, or you're making everybody else upset, I instantly snap. Like, I can't handle it. I don't know how everybody else is doing it straight. I keep getting caught. Like, just let me do what I want. Let me yell, let me complain, and just keep your mouth shut. And everything's so much bigger than me out here. Because I'm somebody who's very confrontational when it comes to those things, especially when I'm put in a situation like this. So I mean, it's just best that people kind of let me do what I need to do.
When it comes to the point where she's like pushing you, like, she's like, oh, you have to deal with my attitude.
I can't handle somebody else like butting in when I'm just snapping. And that's it. I mean, I think they kind of got that now.
She's like, oh, hopefully you guys get used to it. Like, no, we don't have to get used to it. Like, maybe if you try to help yourself or like do something to carry your own weight.
I feel like I'm in a third world right now. Like, I'm in a third world country. Like, this is not fun at all. Having to go grab water, just not having a shower, and then, you know, not having just a nice fridge that I can open that's filled with bologna and like chips and stuff.
I think a lot of us are too struggling with the change in diet. When you have like a high sugar diet, you tend to crash a lot once you stop eating sugar.
The food situation definitely is an ongoing thing. Like, we, you know, have like a lack of food. It's not fun. I mean, thinking about where you're gonna get your meal next.
We're together all the time. Like, when we go to sleep, we're all like compact, snuggling. We got a good snuggle puddle going on, and yeah, we're together nonstop all day, all night. So I think maybe she just needed some time alone. Yeah, she took that time and she came back. She was fine and everything was back to normal again.
She's making like really good progress, and it's understandable. Like she said, she's not used to this environment.
Like, it's not an easy situation for somebody who's never even been camping before.
I don't know, it's an effort on her part, and she's doing really, really well. And, like, I'm not gonna try and... It annoyed me yesterday just because she was like, you guys have to deal with it. No, you don't have to. She's like, I'll fight people. I was like, I'll fight you.
But at this point, you know, I'm pretty good. I'm feeling alright this morning. I had a good sleep, so I can't complain too much.
Like I said earlier, like, she's teaching me patience.
You got an A-bond on, so the French would say it's road trips.
It's gonna be great. If we all work together, we can make another shelter, and we'll see like another area. To be frank, I'm getting a little sick of this area. It's hard to get to the water. So it'd be nice to have a place where it's better access to the water. You know, every corner around the river, there's something new to discover. You know?
The 6 adventurers embark on their longest paddles so far, hitting the open water hungry and wondering where their next meal will come from. The relentless lifestyle of those who traveled these trade routes before them sinks in deeper with each paddle. Traveling from Fallen Tree Camp, they will nearly double their previous day of paddling. With no idea what awaits them at Fish Cove, they must take to the open water for the first time as they seek a brand new area to set up camp.
Today my paddle was a little wet.
We had a couple holes in the canoe, which me and Brendan got soaked, like super soaked.
We didn't flip, we didn't sink, so that's a win in my book. That's why I'm making this, to dry out my socks.
After days with minimum rations, the hours on the water has left them low on energy and desperate to source food. But the elders have taught them a sturdy shelter is their first step to success.
Getting the shelter up is definitely my favorite thing, and like hunting, even though I haven't caught anything yet.
Using the canvas gifted to them by Elder Caleb Musgrave during their previous camp, they apply his teachings to build a cone-shaped wigwam, also known as a teepee.
And this is basically like a mix of a lava, a lean-to, and a wigwam. This is a very... No. A little bit more on the inside. Perfect. A leaf. Now the best part is, these little ridge poles are great for hanging socks, hanging for your cold, wet clothes. You can also put a pole across, so when I was showing the birch branch, you can make a pole go across here, hang a birch withy with a hook part on the end of it, to hang your pot over the fire. This becomes a home. guys want to just keep gathering boughs and spruce roots or anything like that you can think of. Anything you see that's a resource, start gathering. You see a dead standing tree, knock it over and bring the firewood back. You need as much firewood as you can get.
On the sandy shore, with limited trees, listening to the elders has provided them with the perfect construct to start camp.
Hey, I think you put time. On top of Terinigo, eh? I think I scum, ich got Tedget to make. And with Dominican just away. Bonjour, hello again. I see you know how to make the fire now.
We know how to make fire, thank you.
That's great. Good to see.
Something that I've been looking forward to. I kind of assumed that we would learn that skill eventually, and today was the day, and it looks like, our camp kind of needed it. Everybody's a little bit tired and hungry. We had quite the canoe ride here.
Unorganized.
So, yeah, everybody's just feeling a little bit famished, so we're all pretty excited to be able to learn how to catch food in an abundance, hopefully. So tomorrow morning we'll hopefully have a feast which will increase everybody's mood in camp and give us some energy for the next days to come.
Today we will show how to make a net. So that way we can have fish to eat tomorrow. Follow me. Wait to get shaman. How? Come follow me, my subgojana. We're gonna make a net here. Let me know. Let's back to. Oh boy. All right. One way. Tuck it in the rope. You got Mokuman? Cut the length of the rope.
Elder Charles guides the adventurers in the traditional method of tying their own fishing net from jute twine.
What you do is you get a rope, you get the right side and the left side of the rope and you tie it. To make a diamond, like that. And the mess, the tabitan to set a net, to know where they are. You look at rock points. There'll be rock points on the lake, and they'll be made with grass. That's where pike hang around. Okay, can come here and try the twine here. Just loop it again. There up there, man. Mooi me not open after that. You make your diamond. Here's your diamond, okay?
That's how big you want?
Yes, usually you need 3 2-inch mesh, eh? But this here is about 5 and 6 inches because West Catch, long time ago, the fish were big. They were big, good size virgin fish. They were big, and like today, we're overfishing the areas where we are, and and they're getting smaller and smaller. So not enough time to grow. Okay.
So should we make it smaller than that then?
No, me. That's good.
Pretty confident we'll get something, and once we check it in the morning or something, I'm bound to catch something. So I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be a nice fish fry anyway. I don't even necessarily like fish, but I'm hungry, so fish sounds pretty tasty right now.
Okay, ayingay siya. Sabuting nando magishi pagitoing kumasay kaning. I'm gonna go get the net that we have here. It's a gill net. I'm gonna find a location on the lake here where we're gonna go set it. I'm gonna do by nab and the gauge just and get and find a place where we can set it. I'm back, I'm back. Oh my. Try that. Just the diamond.
How do you tie it?
Yeah.
How do you tie it?
Passing on his lifetime of experience, Elder Charles instructs them on the best areas to set their net in lakes or rivers. Although simple, this traditional method will only be effective if they continue to work together expanding and lengthening the net.
The toughest thing for me is my own confidence in what I'm doing. Like, I do have a lot of experience doing what I'm doing. But not like a lot of experience, I'm not gonna lie and say like I'm really, really good at anything. But when other people take the lead on stuff, I usually just let them. And I'm like, okay, well, just, you're good. Like, you can take the lead on that and I'll just do what you want me to do, sort of thing. And then I kind of find myself being like, what do I do here other than, you know what I mean? Like, what's my skill here? Because they ask in interviews like about other people, like, oh, what's this person's skill? Like, Tim's been super, super patient. He's like, he helps people learn. He doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't judge people for stuff like that. So he's a really cool, like, paddle partner to have. So, and it's good for me because I'm not really good in the canoe or anything like that. So he's really shown me a lot of patience in that regard. And Caleb's just like hilarious. He brings the mood up like no matter what. He always has us laughing. And Brendan's just, his stories are incredible. Like stuff that he does, like with his work, his smithing and all that stuff. Like he's teaching us about stones, like things I never knew. Michaela's just out of this world, man. She's crazy. Like she does so much work. She has so much experience. She's kind of become like almost a leader in a way, because we kind of defer to her and stuff. Like we find the thing, we're like, oh, can we use this? And then it's up to her whether we can or not. And she works the course. She's going all the time, like just working where other people are like, oh well, just take a break. She'll still be chopping wood or whatever. But that's the thing too. She needs to learn how to defer like tasks to people, not take on the full workload for herself. So I think that's a skill she's gonna have to learn, is how to, one, be more confident in herself, and two, learn how to pass jobs on to other people and let them like help her carry the work a little bit.
As their skills and responsibilities grow, these 6 strangers are starting to find their roles, and unexpected friendships are beginning to flourish as the adventure takes shape. Sunset is closing in, and the essential work of the camp needs to be completed. Tonight's shelter still has to be finished, and their new fish net has to be set in hopes of providing them with a much-needed meal.
I'm getting the shelter up, going to collect supplies like boughs, straight poles. Those are definitely my favorite things to do.
I think our fish net will get us some results.
It was great. It was therapeutic. I like sitting alone and just kind of getting into a little bit of a trance about it. It's a small meditation to sit and work and do something productive while you're also sitting. It gives you that kind of, shuts down your internal dialogue, I guess.
It's been a cool teaching, and yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to learn, and yeah, I think he's a good teacher who's able to show me how to tie it. It was something I was nervous about because these aren't my types of things, the crafty type of thing like that. So it was good for him to teach me and show me how to tie the little knots, and it's actually pretty simple once you start to do it and get in a rhythm. So yeah, it's a good teaching.
I have no peripheral vision right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Current equipment.
Definitely, like nets are pretty effective at catching fish. You just have to wade out into the water. It doesn't have to be that deep, and you can still get quite a bit of fish.
Michaela and Caleb jumped in the boats and they were able to set up the net in some better water just off the shores here. They just climbed right in. I guess it wasn't working inside the boat, so they had to jump outside of the boat and pound the stakes in and set the net. I was able to prepare a little fire for them when they got back so they could warm their feet, because they just climbed right in.
Returning from their net-setting efforts, Michaela and Caleb take some time to warm up in the shelter beside a welcome fire built by the others. The lack of calories and workload has caught up with them.
I think the net has potential to work. What do you think?
I think it has potential, it's just not quite long enough yet.
No. Yeah, we're going to work on it a bit more. We're going to attach a bit longer of a net. Yeah, we'll probably get like choose a weedier spot.
Yeah.
On a more of a pointed part of the water, so I think that it'll be more effective that way. Yeah.
I'm just really tired.
Yeah, you got that really like groggy feel, eh?
Yeah, I just feel so groggy. My brain hurts.
But it's definitely settling in. Like the workload is immense. You either do the work and have a good night's sleep, or you don't and just freeze out and don't eat. So evens itself out. That's kind of really what I just do. I just work so I can go to have a good sleep.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to be warm at night and have food in my belly. So just so much to do, so little time.
Yeah, because like the first part was finding our roles, but now that we're like kind of nestled into our roles now, so it's pretty sweet. We haven't even gotten like in any arguments either, because we kind of just
go with the flow.
Yeah, we go with the flow, and we're more or less just kind of we got a common goal, and we don't want anything to get in the way with that. So I think that's why we work so well together. And there's really no point in arguing, you know, and getting in each other's face, and just seems like a waste of energy to get mad at each other.
Yeah.
So, and not having music, which is what I thought I would go crazy without. I actually don't really miss it that much.
No.
And plus, I always look forward to Gabrielle singing her drum songs.
Yeah, I love that. Very peaceful.
Pleased with their progress, Elder Charles gifts the adventurers a fresh caught fish to give them their first substantial meal in days. Between 6, it might not seem like much, but on the land there is only gratitude for their well-built shelter, a warm fire, and something to fill their bellies for the night.
Well, thank you for your sacrifice. I
Use the backside of the knife, and then you can kind of take the chunks off.
I like swordfish. Now that's a meaty.
Yeah, don't.
There you go.
Be gentle. Burning fish oil off a pan to avoid an encounter with a bear this cold night. I'm narrating.
That's good. Huh?
Challenge defines us. Our strengths unite us. How do we move forward when all seems lost? We can lean on our brothers and sisters. Tides will push us. But in every lesson, we find a way to reach tomorrow by connecting to our past. Will you seek the elders before the knowledge is lost?
Udebel tigan gitmandu. Pinana kumago no tagi jigak. Minegi melomat siak. Mininan maskawi ziwen. Nesta tentagus win. Mlogono manan. Nesta shawene manan. Anut nesta kagige. Kinabu agige gon. Anut tayan. Melomat siak. Anut tagi jigak. Anut nesta kagige. Mingwes gitmandu. Mingwes gitmandu.
But I don't want to be like, it's going to be like on camera, like on the show, and I'm going to be holding my eye and it's just going to look stupid. But it hurts bad. I think I cut it. It does hurt. It hurts bad.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Spending another day at Fish Cove, the adventurers awoke to an empty fish net. With few options for food and their energy running low, it is important that they come together to improve the net and their potential for food. They will spend the next day working on camp and perfecting their net before relocating.
The morning at camp today was pretty good. I think I had a good sleep last night in the shelter that we built. I feel confident in what we built, so it was a restful sleep. And then we woke up to start making the net again, just to be able to get fish. So, I mean, food has become pretty important out here. We're all running pretty low on energy at times. You can just feel it. You know, people aren't, as interactive as they're going out collecting wood and, spruce boughs and those types of things. So, yeah, that probably has a lot to do with the amount of food we have other than the amount of sleep we're getting.
It's definitely affecting certain people more than others. For Gabby, it's a very, it's a different environment than what she's used to. And so it's a struggle for her to adapt to it. And so I think it's affecting her behavior more than other people in the group. And her behavior in that is kind of bringing other people's morale down every now and then. Because for the most part, it's a pretty positive atmosphere, and she brings a lot to the table. And like, she inspired me personally, like even just listening to her songs, like the one song that she plays, the honor song, it was translated into Maliseet. And so I know the words in Maliseet in my head, but I don't know them to say them. And so like when I get home, because of Gabrielle, I'm gonna start playing my drum again. And so that's a really incredible, it's an incredible thing to inspire in somebody else.
Having set their net once more, the adventurers are met by Elder Mary for a vital lesson in making the most of whatever they might catch.
Hi, Mary McKinney Snikas Equa Fish Nin Kaknomona Gedodame Kushiayek Quakayas Moka Ayawak Fish Kawitamonawa Miwe West Bishak.
For their teaching, Elder Mary has brought them a gift of fish, which may have to last for several days. Although for some, this is their first time processing an animal and could be more difficult than expected.
Namehtek ni nawet na namin smoke fish. Namehtek na namin mi chawe chuichishye kita shwe chosya kana chawe namehtek. Mini nawet na ka gisho ap magita shukeni no kum gatutan o eknoshe ka ushyak. Chika kwe abasto ko kakkinake kon na gawabatamahkin pekwatahikayakin. Kwani nikatutik sabawanat kashkoshat no kumibukani chistahkoach mam tekok ekenia kunach michuko ketutaman kwa miuneko me kwache ekokentaman hogekitan kwachine kumshtay shabat sikino se hogainegnet umage inside kayakin ekis gategene michgategene inside umagayakin Quachingawi Smukayawagan Howek no she, my task swaganoe. Misketo to go one in Hoto Daphnegate. Pan Mashistagawi boiled the Yawagan at Gnoshe Hoga Daphnegate. We are gonna go shan, which to Gagi show up and shake to the meg. We will go shan. Wanna try?
I'll do it.
Thankful for another teaching, the reality of survival is unearthing the adventurers' pasts and how important this journey might be for them as individuals. A new day has brought a much-needed gift of food to the adventurers. But in learning what it takes to survive, some are finding it harder than they first realized.
I could see Gabby reacting like with anxiety, like she started shaking. She was like having breathing problems. I think it's a lot for someone who hasn't ever seen a fish being gutted before to see it. It can be pretty, it's gruesome in a way if you're not used to it.
That's good.
Well, when you don't have a teaching in English, you really have to pay attention to what she's doing. You have to watch everything.
She makes it look so easy.
My dad has always told me that the Cree way of learning is to watch someone do it. It's much better than, being told what to do or reading a book. You actually should watch it as it's being done.
Ebony farted. Caviar.
How you doing?
I'm gonna throw up.
Gabby was kind of like had a little mental breakdown during cutting its head off, so that was pretty funny.
Get in the splash zone.
I've grown up with seeing a lot of like carcasses and animals. My dad's a trapper, fisherman, so I've seen all that, so I'm fine with it. Your legs are in the way. There you go.
Thanks. I think Gabby's struggling a bit, but understandable. She has some history, which, that's her stuff. So we try to stay positive and keep it positive around the camp.
What am I doing first? I think I'm gonna pass out.
Throat and down. One cut at a time.
I'm gonna pass out. I'm not watching.
There you go.
Close your eyes and
Good
strike.
start.
Good job.
It's not cutting. It's
Remember
not
that
cutting.
ancestral memory.
You can cut
Oh yeah.
it in there.
Ancestral memory.
Don't puke on the fish.
We tried to encourage her when she was cutting it, but that didn't help, so I think it was just better just to stay back and let her deal with it on her own.
So the most traumatic thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah, I just don't know if I ever want to do it again. I just feel like so not like good enough for this kind of situation, which sucks. Like I see how, well everybody is, coping and dealing with everything. And I just feel like I missed out on a lot growing up. And it sucks, but I mean, hopefully I can only progress from here and get a little bit better, because I don't want like these things to make it like anything to be a boundary for me. Like I really want to be engaged and learn these kind of things so I can go back to my communities and show them how to do it. And I mean, not be this emotional wreck for it.
I think Gabrielle definitely has a long road ahead of her. But having said that, I think somebody also needs to definitely be a guide to her and like take her hand and really, but it has to be somebody she respects.
I know that like I can't give up on this, because if I do, then That's just another thing that I didn't accomplish in my life, and like I'm so determined.
Like somebody has to take her hand and show her what to do and to inspire her in some way to do it.
I almost feel like I did fail because I didn't cut the whole thing.
It's going to be harder as time goes on for her to keep doing that.
We've proved what the disconnection of Indigenous people has done. I want to be part of proving what reconnection can do.
Gabriella's journey has been defined by cultural loss due to a separation from her people. Without elders' teachings, generations became lost to who they are. For the adventurers, the teachings are becoming more than ways to survive. They are revealing who they are, what they can become, and the importance of their reconnection.
Well, the elder, who spoke very little English, which I think is awesome, she first started by cutting the head off because I guess the entry through the gills is the easiest way. Then we went to the tail. It's a bit tough to get through. I imagine that's because the blade isn't.
I don't know, Mary did a good job. Pretty fast.
Yeah, that's true.
She was fast.
Now the back. Then up the back and kind of got through the back of the fish and flayed it open and took out all the innards, and it was ready to be smoked.
And Tistach smagan no comendo tak vamukmane abasto tuete totak kau is tistahat no tuete and totagan no tuete kau tistach poganot mi buko kagi swap magikono kum mi buko gani kau tuta man konine ko nin sikenda mage tuta man Kotsako nawap maban ka ani shuna twete ka wisigisot kwanchi mas ako chini bete ako pinad binwab ko ko snacks ni banin ko tsako te ka ni shuna pudo anik wete ka wi ani gisot makmasho ap magbanay na ako smapan mitsa kuma pas kan ni bete ako smat kuma wete ka tutak Wete ka tutoa chuete gnoshen. Michakuete ka shiaguna pan wete. Wete. E kwachima auya chuputa wech. Anda shula.
With scales left on, filleted fish are splayed on wooden poles and laid over a smoking rack, far enough from the flames not to burn, but close enough to be covered in smoke that will preserve the meat for several days.
Namasa tapashkinessa huma kwanin nagtamuchisko te asnon tapashkinessa kwanchin mach tarp tagish ayaban kwanin no samik sakkunano asnon hoenstam kauiawa ganoet kaukissa ganoet soe gnusse pagisha kuputo ano antipashkinek Washin tagisa ekaut emagias gotewe smokayak Tapak snog shawin huwe guys na kote isigis so tapak snog pinamasa tasgo smoke takiapan Osamik sakune huwe guys na kote Kis ayasa chin kagis swat awia moat ko na mestex guys na kastroe ani sa ko mena ko kawia ka na wen match kagis snet no na meste kon ani ne ko mena ko kawia ka na wen match kon in suanates sa ko chin ko kay na batsuag No kahit kanina na namin no kuno kaujusya kanu choe no sekak no kahit kanina na namin ako kanina kausya request kakiwit shek no sekak yosya thank you gitinawa Taika mga kawichi ko na mga huwag kasi kinamon na ko.
Kichimigwich for the teachings.
Oh, thank you. Kwa iwa kani ka kuchik kanta mana te kinuse ke susia kusia no komegi puk knamoshit na dabu ko seven eta sokki na se man kuchik knama ke konin chitu ta man no komegi puk kananum shwat me kwach.
As Gabriella takes time to reflect on her disconnection, the others hurry to complete the day's tasks, hopeful the net can provide extra fish for their rations.
Yeah, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Like, quite a bit.
Just taking off these cedar boughs and throwing them on the fire. Because they're green, they'll burn extra smoky, and they'll give extra flavor to the fish. Oh, I like that. We need more cedar boughs. Look how smoky that's burning.
Okay, hang on. It's gonna get bumpy here. Well, look at that. We caught nothing today. Pull it out.
I've never prepared fish this way, and it wasn't actually too difficult, so I prepared a couple of the fish, getting them ready. After Mary took off, we prepared the additional fish that we had left over, and yeah. You don't fish?
No, I just cook it.
Really? Your dad does all the fishing?
He does the fishing and the filleting, and I cook it. But I watched him enough times that I kind of know how to do it.
Nice.
Perfect. Just a bit of a windbreak.
Just a bit. Gabriella will be pissed that I'm using hers, but as the Ojikris would say, Kiam.
It's teamwork, basically. We're all sacrificing our deer hides. See, that's a little better.
She does have the biggest one. She's not joking.
Holy smokes. Look how many times she wrote her name on it, too.
Not good enough. Do it yourself.
Not good enough. Wood collector.
Well, we could use that for our fire.
Yeah, we can still use it for our fire. You don't have to leave it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But is it too wet, maybe?
It might be. Oh, let me see how wet it is.
Oh!
I wonder what... I don't know if the fire is going hot enough to add a bunch of wet wood on it.
What do you think you'd eat? We've only been on the fish diet for like 3 days.
Yeah.
You pemmican before?
I don't feel any smarter from the Omega, I'll tell you that.
Look at that. It's perfect. Look at it. It's going up.
Yeah, yeah. Yay, fish.
Okay.
Okay. She's getting tired of me.
Hashtag sarcasm.
I'm not tired of you. No, I'm definitely not tired of you.
Alright, cool.
Teammates.
Teammates.
But the teachings today definitely connect me back to my family and the way they have done it in the past. Even the way my dad teaches, he's very silent when he teaches me things, and usually I just have to watch him, and I've noticed a lot of his teachings have been coming in handy now, even though I haven't really practiced them myself completely or even understood what he was doing. But now it's like I've seen him cut so many fish that today when I cut that fish, and I probably haven't filleted a fish to eat like that in I don't know, 5 years or so. And it just came back to me because I could see him in my mind's eye, like filleting that fish. So my dad would love to hear all these stories. I think he's going to be pretty proud of me. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just want to make him proud and make my whole family proud. So they're all really excited for me to do this. So I can't wait to get back and share everything. And me and my dad are planning a big winter expedition. We're going to be camping, so we're going to be building one of these teepees that I could probably, well, I don't know if I could show him how to do it. He probably knows how, but I'll know how to do it. And we could be side by side chopping trees, and
I just love doing that stuff with my dad, so this is a pretty cool journey.
Each teaching brings us closer. Each struggle defines who we are. We are the crossroads of past and future. Every path will be different. Can we overcome the disconnection from our culture to become the people we were meant to be? Can we complete the journey together?
Udebel itigen getsimando. Kinanakumago na nortagizigak. Minegi melomadzisiak. Mininan maskawiziwen. Nesta stentagusuwen. Mlogonomenan. Nesta shawenemenan. Anort nesta kagige. Hinabuagige gon anurtitayan. Melomadzisiak nortagizigak. Nesta kagige. Mingwes getsimando. Mingwes getsimando.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Hoping to supplement their food, Michaela woke early to forage rose hips and mooseberries for a tea.
So I just picked some mooseberries and some poplar buds. These things are anti-inflammatory, so they help with achy bodies. I'm feeling a little achy this morning from all the work I've been doing, so this is like natural ibuprofen.
Learning to smoke fish has proven to be a lesson in patience for the starving adventurers. Not following their teachings, they find their stocks of fish not fully smoked.
It just tastes like raw fish. Doesn't really taste like super smoked all the way through.
Yeah, a little underwhelming.
Ooh, Caleb, you want to put that back on? I'll take that one from you.
Give me some more of those berries. I've eaten raw fish before, but never in like huge quantities like that.
Alright, that looks pretty raw.
Raw?
Yeah, this one's raw too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Let's just leave it hanging.
tastes like nothing.
For the
actually.
aesthetic.
It's the bones are easy to pick out.
And then smoke it again.
Yeah, keep it smoking.
That'd be
up
fun
there.
with a little soy sauce.
Right? A little wasabi.
Ginger.
Yeah, we need ginger. Again, I've never really had smoked fish, so I don't know what's normal. This is not normal?
No, that's definitely not normal at all.
It's got to preserve it, right?
Yeah, I'm still gonna eat it.
Should be dry.
Yeah.
It should be dry all the way through.
There you go.
We just started too late in the day yesterday. You got to start early in the morning and then smoke all day, smoke all night, and it'll be better.
Once more, the adventurers must head to a new camp in hopes of securing new resources for the days ahead.
This is just, it's too deep right now. So this will be the top, and that's the bottom, and just make it longer this way somehow.
What else are we gonna do for food though? Like, it's gonna take us a while to make a net.
I'll go hunting. I'll carve a fist on this, and we'll be good to go. Once I carve it.
Snare up a rabbit would be cool.
That'd be pretty good.
See if we can locate where some rabbits are traveling before.
You know how to make a trap? I think the problem is though, like when I go like out for hunting and stuff, I go out for like an hour or two. I don't stay out.
Yeah,
If I can stay out.
Yeah, you gotta stay out for a while.
That's not him. That's alright though.
All right, let's take this old thing down.
Get up higher, get up higher. Good call, good call.
With the weather turning, the adventurers break camp and embark on the longest paddle they have taken thus far. Low on energy, even basic tasks are draining. Trying not to capsize while fighting currents and winds becomes a punishing ordeal. Leaving Fish Cove behind, the adventurers head off on their most dangerous paddle to Skull Island.
Paddling in the open lake was definitely more nerve-wracking, I'd say. You know.
Rob, can you try to come over here? I'm gonna cry. My legs hurt so much. I gotta switch the way that I'm sitting. Stop! Oh my God, I'm literally gonna start to cry. This hurts so bad. Stop! I can't do this. Honestly, I want out now. I want out now. I can't do it. I can't. My leg hurts so bad. I can't. No, I can't. I can't even move right now, man. I'm gonna lose it. Please. I can't. My leg hurts so bad. I can't. No, I can't. I can't even move right now, man. I'm gonna lose it. Please.
Abby, you need to calm down.
I
What
can't.
you're experiencing right now is not significant pain, right? You just need to relax, breathe through it.
I can't.
Take nice deep breaths.
I can't.
Try. You're not even trying to take nice deep breaths. Try and take nice deep breaths. There you go. Big exhale.
Can somebody please hold this boat so I can move my leg?
Michaela's holding the boat.
I got it. I got the boat.
It hurts so bad. Holy.
Overcoming the strain of the paddle with the help of medic Rob Evis, Gabriella rejoined the others and completed the long journey to the new camp.
As the creek narrowed and the waterways got shorter, well, that tension kind of went down because a lot calmer waters and peaceful.
Considering it was just the two of us in a small canoe, I think we kind of just torpedoed through the current.
I don't think neither me or Caleb are that experienced at canoeing, but we found a sink and we were able to pull through. So, much like our other paddle, the boat took on a little water, got a little soggy. So it was a mystery up until the very end. Which, a place like Skull Island, I think that's what you want.
As they come ashore, Michaela is eager to try her hand at fire making, while the others gather materials for camp.
Yes!
I am. Beauty.
Now come warm yourself up there, Caleb. What fire is going?
I did it.
You did it?
Now I know how you feel.
Feel cool, eh?
It does feel cool.
The money shot.
The money shot, yeah. It's gonna get me a feel with the loose jeans.
Why is that smoke green now?
Holy.
Battling through their exhaustion and hunger, the group continues applying their teachings to maximize their surroundings as they prepare to smoke their remaining fish stocks.
Don't you need another
Yeah.
one here?
Oh,
Another
hang
two
on.
at least?
Hey,
Yeah,
it's Mary.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm bisaman mina pagkake konsuita makwe ndotem betakuna dona.
Catch up, don't overtake.
The elders brought us a really awesome gift of spruce grouse. And they're like these, little low-flying birds that are in the forest. They're quite easy to catch. They even showed us a method of how to catch them using a really long stick, and you just aim for their heads and you catch them like that. Today's teachings, we were shown how to snare rabbits by the elders Mary and Donna, and using very basic methods, using just string and a few sticks. It was very interesting to see that.
I love Donna and Mary. They're great. They're just sweet and they're funny and and they're really informative.
Ishatas wapos mikana sa kananatnan kaysa pumset wapos mikana. Kispenta swabataman. Misako afanhuay tutaman. Wabataman. Kaysa pumset ha wapos.
Using roots, twine, or wire, a small loop is formed and positioned with grass and twigs. The trail is blocked to corral the game towards the snare. A twig is stuck in the ground below the loop, forcing the animal to jump into the snare.
Masha, kasita kubutunawa. Eko ya miwete. Eko tsuwetiko kashianawa eko tsamiwa. Mistiko kak chista kubutuyek. Iwe kagisna gokna. Uwe mistiko kak mal chista kubutuyek uma. Abuka kasita kubutuna.
Then you tie this part right here.
Tas muchacho kuma que chista kituye kutuka. Kaisna gok. Oi poco cam chisna gok que chista kituye kuma. Eko tsoko. Mitte kunta tskaya pastunawa. Te conta sabata non huete kabata kitskateken. Huete mitte kunta tutskateken huete. Huete kitskatewa. Eko tsapen hue. Eko hue kasia pastunawa. Huete. Te ke tuota me ke kwatsuko ete wetsuko kau kasta kupitske nawa hue maskusia ka pastonawa ye ko men se ke apatakante poko ka kiota ke ochiat se ko ka chipaksek.
Realizing the importance of the teachings, Gabriella takes personal instruction from Elder Donna as she tries to overcome her discomfort with some aspects of the wilderness.
I'm putting sticks on the side to make the only option basically for the rabbit to go through.
Making a little fenced area for bunnies so I can course them right into the trap. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be cool.
Well, the trap is straightforward, but I think the trick is to being able to recognize the game trail. You know, seeing the rabbit, and because I guess they stick to the same trail for their life, right?
So you kind of want to direct them through your snare rather than having little areas that they can slip past or around it.
I'm gonna skin the bunny, then hopefully eat it if there's salt somewhere around this island. No, but yeah, I'll skin it and then eat it.
I have set a snare before, yes, but not this primitive with just string and some grass. I've used wire snares before.
Antas que shub na moto piwain. Was katuta na wa uno no kauta na wa kweno. No, huete katuta. Huete. Kwani no ni kwani kapmenta sin no kweno. Just leave it.
You should keep this for bedding.
Yeah, we got enough we can make a pillow.
Rip some of the skin. It's like.
Yeah, it's okay. I have to do this.
I have never plucked a bird before.
Oh, the skin, can I just pull the skin right off? No?
No.
Leave it? Somebody else want to try? Yeah. Caleb?
Throw it here. No,
Totally
fly over here.
Lid dinosaurs. Look at them.
It feels like plucking a chicken.
Super soft.
Yeah. Yeah, I've plucked chickens before, and I've seen partridge like skinned. The way they do it, they pull it inside out, and they just pull all the feathers and all the skin right off of it.
Ooh. Yeah, I've seen that happen once.
Cook them up.
And 11 herbs and spices.
Add some spruce to the soup, and then make a.
You said spruce. Oh. Cedar.
Have a soup or a roast?
Gabriella, want to try?
5 out of 6 of us were fine with it and were able to pull through and do it. It's an interesting experience, but I guess Gabby just didn't feel comfortable, which I understand. You know, no one likes to see a animal suffer, I guess, but I mean, the suffering had ended and it was already, you know, we thanked it for its life. But I understand where she's coming from, but now the rest of us didn't have a problem with it because that was our meal, you know. I mean, it's either us or the bird kind of thing.
Like, it's never gonna change me seeing like that.
Just because it bothers you doesn't mean that you have to like it. It's okay. Not everybody likes this stuff. Eat it tonight or no?
No, I don't think so. I honestly think I tap out, like I call it quits. I can't do this. I'm not gonna put myself through this again.
I mean, I really wanted her to push herself and to try hard, but I also saw how traumatized she was, and it was taking a lot of my energy to, I really was trying to help her out. Like, I have a little soft spot for her, because there's just something about her that I really like. Imagine what it would be like to finish this, even if it's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. You can do it. It's going to be over before you even know it. Like, what's the hardest thing you've ever done?
This, I don't even think I've been through anything like this. Like, I've been through some crazy, but I'm just done, man. I'm done. Like, I can't. I honestly can't.
Witnessing the spruce grouse being cut up, and again, she had another one of her, it looked like she was having a panic attack, and it just looked traumatizing to her.
Like, this whole experience is literally, like, I'm not eating meat for the rest of the trip. Like, I'm just gonna go vegan when I go home. Like, this is so tough.
This whole situation is not for everyone. It's pretty stressful.
I already see it now, and it's like...
Can't unsee it.
I don't know why this is so hard for me, but it is.
It's not easy for a lot of people. I can understand why it was so traumatizing. I mean, not everybody can just sit there stoically like most of us watching these animals get killed. For some people, it's wrong to see, right?
Even though she is trying her hardest, the trauma from Gabriella's past and her lifelong disconnection may be proving too powerful for this journey. As Gabriella takes time to confront her doubts and fears, the group continues working on camp, excited to finish cooking the spruce grouse, gifted by elders Mary and Donna.
Gentle.
Oh, I broke something. Is it tainted?
What's up against to dan wet na? Wet up in chua go tap na. What? That's a pitch man now, so train guys now. What's what's not going to what's a game you got there?
Raw?
When?
Eat it raw now.
Meat got there,
You have to boil that?
Uma says task got there, ma. Task got there. I got so wet, got beat sick. What happened? Got there.
Take that out.
You have to take it out and throw it away? How come?
Second, so we know Kawis meat it.
Is that his poop?
No. Stomach. Pre-poop.
That.
Just with those things to give it over to Peter man got this so
You have to take that out.
When what?
Oh, wow.
That's where just me got take what's cooking in this do dan when with the got quick there. With just go guess you back what I when guys now when
boil it?
Yeah.
How come?
You boil it with umas na kunigan do tawa ho ka si back when uman mai ko ma mi just go guess you back with when just now when
Or you can
Whatever you want to
Tie it up there.
Chicken
Tie it up there, we'll fry one up.
I'm saying we got two. Let's boil, let's smoke. Let's try both. Right.
Yeah, no doubt. So we leave, when you smoke it, you leave that in there?
No. But Michaela volunteered to make us some smudge fans, so we use every part.
Sorry, I'm figuring out with this knife.
Oh, he's still warm. Mary, who taught you how to do this?
Nokum.
Nokum.
Nokum?
I wish I would have learned earlier than 30. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely take away what I'm learning here today, and you know, I'll pass it down to, you know, my kids and stuff, and teach other youth and my friends, and yeah. So it's good that I'm learning now. It's not too late.
Kahi kaki kinoma koe kwapos che opos na ko kan kaki kinoma koe kaki siya na waso na koe te akamag chikin ta stoik na nang kaki kinoma koe kwapos ke nasayek. Oh.
As Gabriella continues to struggle, the group completes a new camp, thankful for their small feast and connecting to one another as much as they are connecting to the land. Hopeful that they will all make it through.
A lot of things have happened to Gabby, and so the fact that she's made it this far, I think, is a true testament to her spirit and all that. But I think she'll be able to overcome and, you know, try this again one day.
At our lowest, we must look to those around us. Our spirits must inspire and be inspired. Adversity forges bonds within Mother Nature's arms, and in its shadow, growth is our choice. Will we reconnect to the land that has blessed us for generations? Do we reach for each other or turn away?
Udebel itigan gitsimando. Pinanako mo na no tagi jigak. Minegi melomad siak. Mininan maskawi ziwen. Nesta sentagos win. Mlogo no manan. Nesta shawen manan. Anut nesta kagige. Hinabu agige gon anut tayan. Melomad siak no tagi jigak. Anut nesta kagige. Mingwes gitsimando. Mingwes gitsimando.